What's a Chad Mendes comeback look like? And I read something today that Chad Mendes is contemplating a comeback, but I had a sneaky suspicion because most comebacks look the same. It starts with an iPhone in a gym, and the athlete that you were told is retired is doing some training footage. And I saw said training footage of Chad Mendes about 40 days ago. I swear to goodness, I don't know if I've ever seen him look so good. I definitely have not, and this is a literal statement, ever seen him look so fast. I was stunned at the speed. He was doing mitts. I like watching mitt workouts. I think that's fun. I could go to YouTube and watch some of those good boxers in the speed bag where I'll even watch the jump ropes. I like some of those things. I'm also very familiar with some of those things. When I'm telling you how fast Chad was, I'm talking about amongst the most fast mitt hands I've ever seen. If you can believe this, he looks stronger than he used to look. Chad Mendes also has a great story. And there's so many guys with a great story, but they don't tell their story. I would encourage guys, starting right now, get your hobbies out there. You want to know what marketing is, and you got to separate yourself a little bit, and everybody's doing the punches and the kicks. So when you're competing with other guys and their stories about the punches and the kicks, it gets a little bit tough. Get your stories out there. Demetrius Johnson might have been the first to do this. Turns out Demetrius likes video games, but then it also turns out he's really good at video games, and it turns out he's got a killer setup for video games. You guys ever seen that? I believe it's the office inside Demetrius' house. It's at least some room that he's designated. He's got screens everywhere. He's got communications. He's got the fancy controllers. He's got a comfortable chair. I mean, it's one of these things where if you see that, but you're a fellow gamer, and there's a lot of them, you just picked your favorite fighter. All because of a hobby. And Chad Mendes is one of these guys that has a very interesting story. I have never been around Chad and not enjoyed myself. Never not been around Chad and not laughed. Not had some level of entertainment given by him. Hunting and fishing guy. Outdoorsman. Even when he left fighting, he left with plenty of money. He started his own outdoor company where he's taking people on hikes. They'll camp out. They'll do a week. They'll go for an elk. They'll go for fish. I mean, he just knows everything about the outdoors, right? I can't. If I went outdoors, old Chael come back with poison oak. That's the only thing you're going to get. Chad, there's a whole market for that out there. It's a very interesting hobby. And I feel like if Chad would have told this story more and spent a little bit more time with Chad the outdoorsman, he would have really attracted the crowd of the outdoorsman. Now, Chad Mendes was not lacking for popularity, but Chad also had a little bit of a hard assessment of his own career towards the end. Chad Mendes, top guy in the world, fought for the championship twice against Aldo. Was there an interim championship he fought for somewhere in there? I mean, major opportunities. Loses to an unknown guy. And the guy that he lost to wasn't very good. As a matter of fact, the guy he lost to was like a rugby player. So Chad's time is apparently done, right? Well, no, not so fast. That rugby player that wasn't ranked very high is named Alex Volkanovski. It was just before Volkanovski was Volkanovski. It was one of these things. So Chad, I feel, had a very hard assessment of himself. Well, my time must be done. I must not be working hard enough. I must still not have it. And in conjunction with being motivated to go and start his outdoor business. I just think they work together. I think Chad looked great. He gave, in hindsight, Volkanovski a hell of a hard fight. Volkanovski runs over guys. He had a hell of a hard time with Chad Mendes. He had a hell of a hard time with Max Holloway. Good company. I think that the two can work together. And there's other great stories out there that I don't feel guys tell. Joe Riggs. You guys know Joe Riggs? Joe Riggs for sure qualifies as a badass, but Joe has a backstory that if you heard it, you could really get by. Joe Riggs used to be 300 pounds, and he was anything but an athlete. He was a tough guy, and he boxed as a kid, and he wrestled, but he got up to 300 pounds. He was out of shape. He decides he's going to set a goal. He comes back not just to 205, 185, works his way down to 170. Joe Riggs is still at it. I'll pick up a grappling event, and Joe's out there giving minutes to some of the top grapplers in the world. I turned on a boxing event a couple of weeks ago. He's in the ring doing bare knuckle with Hector Lombard. I mean, there's no question Joe Riggs qualifies as a badass, right? I don't think anybody's doubting that. But it's one of these stories that I don't know that he told. I don't know that he did the greatest job telling this story. I would encourage guys, my overall message right here, if you're wondering how to market, how to get out there, what the hell does that even mean? If you have a hobby, tell the story of your hobby. Bring us in on that. If you're secretly a great baker, we want to know. If it turns out you're a master on the piano, we want to know. But you would be stunned, I think much like Demetrius Johnson was, of how many people are like you, can relate to you, and they'll follow you on a different journey. Even if it's one of MMA, they'll follow you on a different journey if they can relate to you.